Good day, sir. I am Courtney Shane P. Kailing, the group leader of Subgroup 4. Our title of our research is Marketing Demand of Ubi Cassava Cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. Introduction. The researchers decided to study the market demand of Ubi Cassava Cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. The researchers come up with this study because of the reason that the researchers want to determine the demand of ubi cassava cake. Since the cassava cake is a common dish in the Philippines, the researchers want to innovate the product that is new to the market. Theoretical framework. Through survey questionnaire, gathering data is very helpful to the researchers for their accomplishment of the research that will give a clear understanding of the market demand of ubi cassava cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. Conceptual framework. Our input for this is gathering data through web, books, articles to have the following. First, to determine the demand of ubi cassava cake. Second, to find out the respondents' preferred price per piece and per layer of ubi cassava cake. And third is to determine the respondents' preference in terms of mode of payment. And the process for this is gathering information through conducting a survey to the selected population at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. And the output for this is market demand of ubi cassava cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. Statement of the problem. The study aims to determine the market demand of ubi cassava cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. The researchers seek to answer the following questions. First, what is the respondent's demographic profile according to letter A, age, B, gender, C, occupation, and D, monthly income or allowances. Second is how many respondents are willing to buy ubi cassava cake. Third is what is respondents' preferred price per piece and per layer of ubi cassava cake. Fourth, what is the respondents' preferred mode of payment. Significance of this study. The essence of this study is to determine the demand of ubi cassava cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. The result of this study is to benefit the following. First, researchers. This study will help the researchers to get additional knowledge by determining the demand of ubi cassava cake to be able to sell it in the market. Students. In this research, it will be a very big help for the students, for it will serve as a guide or reference, especially when they conduct a research in the future. Scope and delimitation. This study will be conducted at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental, where there are 372 respondents among all the barangay. The researchers choose Barangay Poblacion as a respondent because it has more population, and with that, it is easier for the researchers to gather more information. Next is major related studies. Cassava is traditionally eaten as a staple supplement when cereal are not adequately available. It is boiled, steamed, or fried, or processed into local delicacies of various procedures, forms, and taste. In Mindanao alone, there are at least 30 different preparations of grated cassava. So it means that cassava cake is one of those local delicacies because cassava is very popular. And next is cassava is an important staple in the tropics, where it provides a cheap source of dietary carbohydrate energy to over 500 million people, and that is according to FAO 2003. Next is research setting. This study was conducted at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. Barangay Poblacion has 14 zones and has a total population of 5,395. Respondents and sampling procedure. The researchers gathered the data of 372 respondents. The type of sampling method to be used by the researchers was probability sampling, which involves random selection of populations. In interpretation of data, the researchers used simple random sampling, which is a subset of a statistical population in which each member of the subset has an equal probability of being chosen. So, research instrument. In collecting the data, The instrument used was the questionnaire. This was used because it gathers data precisely and faster than any other method. The researchers find samples of questionnaire from related studies, searching through web and books, sharing ideas through brainstorming, and consulted some people which has knowledge about it. Next is statistical technique. After collecting the data of respondents, the data was tabulated and interpreted carefully with the use of statistical tools. First is finding the percentage. The formula for this is P is equal to F over N times 100%. And second is Sloven's formula. N is equal to N over 1 plus NE squared, where N is population size and E is the margin of error. Presentation of data. This chapter shows the findings of the study, interpretation, and analysis of data. This study is entitled Market Demand of Ubi Cassava Cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. The researchers primarily used structured questionnaire as its tools in gathering data. The discussions are based from the results collected from the questionnaire. Table 1. Frequency distribution of respondents according to age. Among 372 respondents, 88 or 23.7% are age of 18 below and 112 or 30.10% are age of 19 to 25. 80 or 21.5% are age of 26 to 33 years old. 50 or 13.4% are age of 34 to 41 years old. So based on the table above, majority of the respondents are 19 to 25 years old, while the 50 to 57 years old has the least number of respondents. Table 1.1 Frequency distribution of respondents according to gender. The table shows that out of 372 respondents, majority were female. That constitutes 55.6% and 44.4% were male. This data means that most of the respondents are female. Next, Table 1.3 Frequency distribution of respondents according to their occupation. The Table 1.3 shows that 70 or 19% are employed, 25 or 6.7% are self-employed, 57 or 15.3% are unemployed, and 220 or 59% are student. It means that out of 372 respondents are mostly students. Table 1.4 Frequency distribution of respondents according to their monthly income or allowances. In the table 1.4 shows that among 372 respondents, 277 or 74.5% of them has an income ranging 5,000 below, and 52 or 14% of them has an income of 5,001 to 10,000. 28 or 7.5% has an income of 10,001 up to 15,000, and 15 or 4% has an income of 15,001 above. Based on the data gathered, majority of the respondents has an income of 5,000 below because mostly respondents are students and unemployed. This pie graph shows that the outcome of the data from the respondents. It simply indicates the market demand of Ubi Cassava Cake at Poblacion in Nitao, Misamis Oriental. So graph 1, frequency distribution respondents according to have you tasted Ubi Cassava Cake? Graph 1 shows that 45 or 12% answered yes and 327 or 88% answered no. This means that majority of them are not familiar of Ubi Cassava Cake. Graph 2, frequency distribution of respondents according to are you willing to purchase Ubi Cassava Cake? The data indicates that all of the respondents are willing to purchase Ubi Cassava Cake. Graph 3, frequency distribution of respondents according to how much are you willing to buy per piece of Ubi Cassava Cake. The graph shows that 66.4% are willing to buy the Ubi Cassava Cake at 8 pesos each, then 21.5% for 10 pesos each, and 12.1% for 12 pesos per piece of ubi cassava cake. This means that majority of the respondents are willing to buy at lower prices. Graph 4. Frequency distribution of respondents according to if ubi cassava cake will be sold per layer, are you willing to buy? The graph shows that 59.7% are willing to buy per layer and 40.3% are not. This means that majority of the respondents are willing to buy ubi cassava cake per layer. Graph 5. Frequency distribution of respondents according to how many layers of ubi cassava cake and its price you prefer to purchase. The graph shows that majority of the respondents are willing to purchase one layer for 150 pesos, which 77.5%, 13.5% for two layers for 280 pesos, and 9% for three layers for 400. Graph 6. Frequency distribution of respondents according to what is your preferred mode of payment. The graph shows that 357 or 96% preferred cash on delivery and 15 or 4% preferred cash and pickup. This means that most of the people nowadays prefer the most convenient mode of payment. Recommendation. Due to this pandemic, the researchers recommend that most of the respondents are willing to buy the ubi cassava cake and they prefer cash and delivery mode of payment. So the result shows that the researchers will be able to sell the ubi cassava cake. And in terms of business, the researchers also recommend that it is very important to create a plan to know the status of the business for what products might be highly demanded in the market. And for the next researchers, innovation is very important when creating business, for it will help the seller to increase the demand because it is new in the market. The buyer will be convinced to try the product, and with that, it will be a greater chance to increase the sales, same as the demand of that specific product. Acknowledgement. We are grateful for the people who have greatly contributed towards the achievement and possibility of this study. We would like to extend and express our gratitude to the people who helped support, assist us in completing this study. We would also like to acknowledge our parents, loved ones for their full support from the start until the end of the study, and we are so blessed and thankful to have them. We admit that without the help, effort, inspiration, motivation, and knowledge and wisdom of each one, everything would be impossible. Above all, we would like to thank our Almighty God for the continuous and unconditional guidance, protection, love, and for the gift of life. That's all, and thank you.